what's strange with Meghan and Harry is when you think about it, they wanted to have this fake royal life, didn't they? You know, the royal life that was, well, royal, but not real. You know, and we saw that really in the last year or so when they went off to Nigeria and then the Caribbean, if you remember, Jamaica. I mean, wasn't that embarrassing, that Jamaican thing with the premiere and Meghan in the ball gown? I mean, it was just kind of like, is there nobody done any due diligence before you've arrived? That was, for me, one of the most embarrassing things. And I'm sure that Prince Harry got an absolute rollicking when he got back, because Meghan did not look pleased to be sitting in the cheap seats all done up in a designer frock. And given that Harry no doubt paid a lot of money for that designer frock, it certainly wasn't getting the, well, extra attention that it possibly should have needed. But this is paramount, and this is how celebrities work, and they decided that this was where you're at in the lineage of things. But you see, if you remember Harry and Meghan, that, well, they wanted to do something a little bit differently, and even as early as this year they were touting for business. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you're all right. I'm getting a bit husky again, aren't I? It's this pollen. I know, don't tell me off. I love it when I mention it though, and you're also very kind. Oh, Neil, don't bother about your ailments. You think, you know, it's true. And somebody said to me, you're so cheerful, Neil, regardless. And you think, well, what else have you got to, you know, there's no other option, is there? Try and look at everything with a full-on face, as I call it, and think, you're not going to win me. You know what I mean? I know if you've got illnesses and you may be housebound a bit and you've all these sort of things, just try and find your funny bone, chums, because it's the best way. You know, I find it quite funny. You know, a friend of mine recently had a terrible accident and they were climbing the stairs at the tube station a few months after, and their leg clicked and they couldn't go any further. And she said at the end of it, I thought, well, what do I do? And she said, you know, just sort of stood there laughing because she thought, I never thought I'd end up with a clicked leg on the tube station in London. And you think, only way to deal with it, you know, eventually all kicked back in and she was fine. That's life, isn't it? You know what I'm saying, chums? It's a bit like that's life for, of course, the former royals known as Meghan and Harry. You see, here's the thing, right? You know, they didn't want to be royal. They didn't want to do the things, the paraphernalia of going around opening, you know, good causes, charities, that sort of stuff. No, that wasn't for Meghan. Didn't fancy schlepping around Sheffield on a Wednesday or something. So they wanted bigger things. And they came up with these two tours, didn't they, which were an unmitigated disaster. Colombia and Nigeria, where Meghan, we were told, was suddenly 43% Nigerian. Never mentioned again, is it really? Including the name that they decided to give her. Remember, they bestowed her a very nice name, and oh, she was marvellous, thrilled to receive it. But no, she's not bothered, didn't mention it now. No use, you see, the tour's over, cost them a lot, cost the companies, you know, the people that were looking after Meghan and Harry, a lot of money. And do not forget that the woman, I think it was the under-president in Colombia, basically booked them because she liked their reality show. I mean, what a disaster, and what a thing to say. If you remember though, Harry and Meghan said they'd like to visit more countries in the future, offering their good deeds and what they could do for charitable events, etc. Thing is, how can you put this nicely? There hasn't exactly been an influx of offers. No. And I would suggest, and this is another problem for Meredith Main, obviously, but I would suggest that this is truly down to a couple of things, in fact, chums. I would say that this is down to the fact that absolutely, with the Invictus, not really sticking around Meghan, just designer clothes, Meghan, 4 days, I've got to get back to the kids, posting stuff on Instagram, Meghan. It doesn't really work, right? And of course, the longer that she takes time away from her fledgling business, the longer that, you know, these sort of thing could get to take off the ground. But Harry is very keen to replicate that sort of fake royal life, as we saw with the Angola walk again, you know, the landmine walk. The problem is, who wants to pay for them? And that's the real problem. It's now who will pay for some faded royal celebrity if they want them to come and visit their country. To do what exactly? And when you look at the figures of Nigeria, which of course has recently been visited by none other than our failing mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and of course Colombia, has that royal sparkle dust done anything for the country? According to insiders, literally in the government points, absolutely not. Hence the reason the phone, shall we say, is not exactly ringing off the hook with further opportunities to visit other countries. Right, Meghan? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.